Okay, let's unpack this. When you think of carbonated soft drinks, soda, you probably have a classic image in mind, maybe a specific can, familiar taste. But honestly, this market is far more dynamic, maybe even surprising than you might expect. So today we're doing a deep dive into the global carbonated soft drinks market. Our mission really is to give you a shortcut, a way to get quickly informed about how this long-standing industry is really evolving and what's genuinely bubbling up to drive its, frankly, incredible growth. I mean, get this. The market is on a steady climb, projected to swell from nearly $300 billion back in 2021 to a staggering over $500 billion by 2033. That's a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, about 4.7%, which sounds pretty solid.
It is solid. And what's fascinating here isn't just, the sheer scale of those numbers, huge as they are. It's more about how deeply these shifting consumer preferences and global economics are intertwining to basically reshape the whole industry.
Yeah.
This isn't simply about the classic colas holding onto their turf. I mean, sure, that's part of it, but it's really a profound story of adaptation, continuous product innovations, the big rise of low, no sugar drinks, evolving lifestyles, and some incredibly aggressive marketing by the big beverage giants all over the world.
Yeah.
So you might be wondering, okay, what's really behind this massive growth? And, where exactly is it fizzing up the fastest?
Yeah, exactly. That's precisely what we want to figure out. So
Yeah.
looking at the numbers you mentioned, North America,
Mm-hmm.
it still holds the biggest slice of the pie, right? It's set to grow from around $117 billion in 2021 to nearly $200 billion by 2033.
Mm-hmm.
And the U.S. is still dominant there. Lots of brand loyalty, diverse products.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The U.S. is the anchor. But interestingly, if you look closer, Canada is actually showing a surprisingly higher growth rate, around 5.6% CAGR.
Oh, interesting. So higher than the U.S. Why is that?
Well, it's not just people drinking more soda overall. It seems to reflect this fascinating shift. Consumers are increasingly seeking out premium and craft sodas. It's a bit like what we saw with craft beer. It just highlights how even in these really established markets, there's always room for niche products to grow. People want something different.
Craft sodas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. People wanting something a bit special.
Exactly. And meanwhile, Mexico, which, has strong cultural consumption habits around soda, is also seeing solid growth, about 4.6%. And that seems propelled by new functional options drinks offering, say, added vitamins or maybe an energy boost.
Right. So even in the traditional strongholds, people are looking for something extra, something beyond the usual fizzy drink. That's innovation right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about across the Atlantic? What's the picture in Europe?
Europe follows pretty closely behind North America in terms of market size. It's expanding from roughly $85 billion to around $143 billion. And France is actually leading the charge there, growth-wise, a strong 5.1% CAGR.
France.
Okay.
Why France specifically?
A lot of it seems due to what we call premiumization, consumers choosing higher quality or maybe more exclusive brands. And crucially, like we're seeing almost everywhere, a rising demand for sugar-reduced options. It's that same global story, really. Health consciousness is genuinely reshaping buying habits.
It really sounds like it. Whether it's craft sodas in Canada or sugar-free in France, consumers are definitely getting more discerning.
Yeah.
So beyond these, let's call them established giants, where are the real growth hotspots? Where's the major action?
Well, the Asia-Pacific region, APAC, is definitely a major growth hotspot. It's poised to nearly double, from around $56 billion to over $104 billion. That's boasting an impressive 5.6% CAGR overall for the region.
Wow, nearly double, and within APAC.
India, in particular, is absolutely spearheading that growth, a remarkable 6.36% CAGR. And the drivers there, well, it's rapid urbanization, a huge young population, and something I find really fascinating, the strong emergence and popularity of regional soda flavors.
Regional flavors, that's such a brilliant example. Using local tastes, local ingredients.
Exactly. Think local fruit extracts, maybe spices native to the region. It taps into local culture.
Yeah, that really connects to cultural identity, doesn't it? And I guess Southeast Asia is also a big part of that APAC story.
Absolutely. The segment they call Rest of APAC, which includes places like Singapore, other Southeast Asian markets, that's actually the fastest growing subregion globally. A whopping 7.4% CAGR.
7.4%. Okay, that's significant.
Propelled by surging demand, a growing middle class with more disposable income. It's a classic growth story in that sense. Then if we move south, South America also shows pretty healthy expansion, growing from nearly $20 billion to over $37 billion. Argentina leads there with a solid 6.16% CAGR.
And what's driving it in Argentina?
Seems to be supported by the widespread popularity of flavored carbonates, so not just cola. And interestingly, energy soda blends. It just shows how those lines between traditional sodas and, say, functional or energy drinks are really blurring.
Energy soda blends. Yeah, another one of those crossover points. So the market isn't just getting bigger, it's really diversifying its offerings quite a lot. Okay, what about the Middle East and Africa? I heard you say earlier something was really happening there.
Yeah, well, the Middle East is growing steadily. The UAE posts the solid 4.48% CAGR, and a lot of that is linked to its dynamic tourism sector driving consumption, hotels, restaurants. But the most striking momentum, maybe the most exciting story in this whole global market, is coming from Africa.
Okay.
It's projected to more than double, from just over $5.5 billion in 2021 to nearly $14 billion by 2033. And that comes with the highest global CAGR of any region, 8.57%.
Wow, 8.57%. More than double the value.
That's genuinely explosive growth, isn't it?
It really is. And Nigeria and South Africa are leading that charge, both showing growth over 8.2% CAGR.
Yeah.
The drivers, rising incomes, very young, rapidly growing populations, and a significant expansion of retail distribution networks. Basically, getting these drinks onto more shelves, making them more accessible than ever before. That accessibility point is key, I bet. And it's not just the huge international companies cashing in there, is it?
That's right. Actually, the rest of Africa segment, so countries beyond Nigeria and South Africa, that stands out even more, an 8.93% CAGR.
Even higher.
Which signifies that new, often local players are successfully tapping into markets that were previously underserved, and they're often doing it with more affordable products and, again, locally adapted flavors, a bit like we discussed with India.
Fascinating. Local players, local tastes, driving huge growth.
Exactly. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, it becomes pretty clear the carbonated soft drinks market is, well, it's like a microcosm of global consumer shifts. You see the health consciousness trends, the powerful influence of different cultural preferences, various stages of economic development all playing out. It really is set for a dynamic decade ahead.
That's truly remarkable, seeing it all laid out like that. So what does this all mean for you listening? Well, it means even something as seemingly simple as a soda tells this really complex story. A story of global tastes, constant innovation, and shifting economics. From North America's brand loyalty and Canada's interesting craft soda boom to India's unique regional flavors, and then Africa's genuinely explosive growth, driven by young populations and these local adaptations. It's just a vibrant, constantly changing landscape. So as we look ahead, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What future innovations do you think will emerge from this market? Will we see more of those functional beverages, the ones with added benefits, become totally mainstream? Or will the appeal of locally adapted traditional flavors keep driving growth in, well, unexpected places? And thinking about those other trends, how might growing awareness around health, and maybe sustainability too, further reshape this absolutely massive industry in the coming years? Something to think about.